I love the sound effects.
I just always like to take a bite. I just want to make sure the cereal's good
Me
before
too.
All right, we are back for episode number 2 of the Not So Serious Life. My name is Jason Goldberg, and I am here with Cowboy Steve Chandler.
Hey, Jason, how you doing?
I'm great. Actually, are you still in witness protection program like you were in the first episode?
No, I've come out, and I don't care if anybody knows where I live as long as they don't see my face.
How long have you been in witness protection? I'm just curious.
Here's why I'm uncomfortable talking about that. That is so close to my real life that it's not just some wild joke.
Really? Holy!
Absolutely.
Oh wow. Okay, so I feel like that's going to be for another episode, but I really want to know about that. Okay,
Absolutely.
awesome. So, Steve, quick question for you. I know you're big into comedy. So, as we both are, one of the big reasons we connected. Who is like your number one favorite comedian right now?
I think it's Brian Regan.
Okay.
Kathy and I have gone to see him 6 or 7 times live, and I love his brother too, and so he's my favorite right now. And I think comedy is such a high form of human endeavor. It's really amazing, even when the work is like the work you and I do, and we do seminars and we facilitate life coaching type things, but when you can get someone to laugh a little bit, it really opens up the spirit and people learn faster, and it just makes everything better.
Yeah, I remember one of the things I loved in grad school. I had one professor that he was the only professor that did this in in undergrad and grad. I never had anybody that did this except for one guy. He would always he'd have some kind of funny YouTube video playing as we were walking into class. And everybody just thought, he's just funny. He just likes to play videos. And I asked him at the end of class one day, does he just do that because it's fun or what? And he goes, no, that the science has shown that when you can be open and creative and be having fun, you're more receptive to learning things. And that goes right along with the not so serious life. If you're living a not so serious life, you are lighter and you're more open to creative interpretation and creative solutions to things that otherwise seem really heavy and impossible to fix, right?
Yeah, absolutely true. And the science really is true on it. I read some studies recently about people taking tests, and people who would watch a comedy thing before they took the test would do better because the mind was more open.
Yeah.
They were more relaxed, and they had access to more of their brain, more of their consciousness, and humor opens people up. So that's why it's fun to be with you.
Yeah. Well, it's fun to be with you. This is like, if nobody watches this, I don't care because I'm having fun hanging out. So, okay, so for today, we have our next round of cereal boxes. And again, I like you picking. I think that's something fun. So we did Fruit Loops in our first episode. What are we doing now?
Are any of those gluten free? Do you know?
Are you going to be a gluten guy now? Don't do this to me, Steve.
That was just Frosted Flakes. Tony the Tiger.
All right. They're good enough. Okay, so let's open up the Frosted Flakes.
I love the sound effects.
Isn't it good? I do. I just always like to take a bite. I just want to make sure the cereal's good
Me
before.
too. I'm feeling bad about that. I've got nothing here. I'm going to bring some food for our next episode.
You really should. Okay, this is a good one. I like this. How do I excuse the eating while I'm reading? I hope it doesn't come out at the camera.
My mother was a terrible cook, by the way. Her TV dinners would taste like radio dinners.
I need a rim shot. Maybe I can do that in post-production. Put the rim shot in. Wait for it. All right, there it was. Okay, cool. So this question says, and when you guys submit your questions, you can tell us if you want us to say your name or not. Some people have said, yeah, you can say my name. Some said don't. That's fine. This one was anonymous. How do I reignite my passion so I can stay in consistent action? How do I reignite my passion so I can stay in consistent action? And this is a shortened version of the question and kind of, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I would talk to your pharmacist. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see the mystery in this.
Yeah, up your dosage, right? I mean,
Yes. Well, either that or find some kind of stimulant that will work. The problem with stimulants, though, is that you will crash and become very depressed at the end. So make sure your goals are very short term.
Yeah. Short-term goals and
Don't
medicines.
don't try to get some passion going for a long term goal, because then the pharmacist is not the answer. You have to come up with something else.
That's true.
What do you think, Jason, for someone? Can you read the question again? Does it have the word passion in it?
It does have the word passion in it, which was funny because that's the one I keyed into. How do I reignite my passion? So there's a sense here they had passion at some point for something and now it's not there. How do I reignite my passion so I can stay in consistent action? And my view on this is maybe not as popular in the new age culture. I think passion's super overrated.
Wow.
I don't care about passion. And when I hear people say like, well, I just need to find my passion, or I do the best work when I'm passionate, and that's great. Like if it serves you and that works for you, that's awesome. But when finding or reigniting your passion becomes a crutch to not take action, then I say, okay, do we really need that? Why is that serving us? And in my experience, it hasn't. What do you think about passion in general?
Yeah, I love what you're saying. I feel the same way. My friend Sam Beckford, he and I once, he drove me up to Tony Robbins' house in Vancouver. Apparently Tony Robbins has a house there. And Sam was driving me around Vancouver, and he said, this is Tony Robbins' house. And he said, do you want to go ring the doorbell and run? And I said, yeah. So we did that, but on the way, as we were driving away in a cloud of dust, he said, I don't want to be passionate about my work. I just don't want to. And I love my work. And I'm interested in my work, and occasionally I'm amused by my work, and I get intrigued by my work, and I get into the flow of my work where time passes. But the word passion doesn't show up for me. And I think you're right. A lot of people think if I'm not passionate about something, I need to move on and find something I'm passionate about. And this is over dramatizing. This is not always very necessary.
Yeah.
How about being mildly amused, like especially with someone you fall in love with? How about being mildly amused by the one you love?
Yeah, I totally agree. And so for me, it's like, passion to me is one of those things. If we say we want to have fun, right? I'm a firm believer that we can choose to make anything fun, right? And I feel like passion is just one of those things where it has to be external. There has to be a fire that comes from the outside that lights you up. It's not something that you like. I love at least the fact that they said, how can I reignite my passion, right? At least there's some ownership in saying, how do I get that back? And so I say, great, for the person who wrote this and said, how do I reignite my passion? You've said it already. You just choose. You just choose to be in consistent action. You want to know how you reignite anything, how you reignite your mild enthusiasm or your fun or your playfulness or whatever. You just choose, which is beautiful because you have a sense of that in the way you wrote the question.
Yeah, that's good. And also, don't focus so much on yourself. It's like my passion, me, I, me, mine. Maybe we could play that sometime by George Harrison and the Beatles.
We should do it.
I, me, mine. I, me, mine. It's like I, me, my passion, my life, my career, my calling, my. And if I would just drop all that for a while and focus on the other person and serve the other person, get interested in the other person, then all of a sudden I'm no longer tormented. I'm not pacing the stage like holding a skull, asking questions about whether I should even live and what my passion is. I mean, I don't want to make fun of whatever person sent us in. I don't want to mock the question.
Right.
But because you know me well enough to know I would never do that. I would never deliberately humiliate another human being. But at the same time, the quest for a passion and the quest for a true calling and what's my North Star? What is my where is my North Star?
Yeah.
I'll be quiet.
No, I was waiting for you to actually pull out a skull. I know you have a lot of props. Do you have a skull?
I know, you're waiting for me to say something worth listening to.
I have respect for my elders.
I couldn't find it.
It was in there. It was in there. So the other part of the question I like real quick here is about staying in consistent action. And again, consistent action is a choice. And to me, the things that I take consistent action on in my life are sometimes the most mundane things in the world, right? I take consistent action on brushing my teeth. I take consistent action on charging my cell phone every night. I take consistent action telling my wife I love her and petting my dog. And all of that same consistent action flows to anything I do in my work because I just say I'm going to do it. It's just what I say I'm going to do. And so I don't have to have passion. All I have to do is have choice.
I like it.
Cool. I like your hat. That's really, I feel so less manly.
Well, own it. Yeah.
I got hair gel and a hard part, and you got a friggin' cowboy hat.
That's stylish. Okay.
And look at my watch. Like it's such a metrosexual watch. Like I just, you know what? Just
it's big. It's too big.
I'm done. All right, you know what? I'm upset now, so we're going to end the episode. This is episode 2 of The Not So Serious Life. Jason Goldberg, Steve Chandler. Guys, send your questions in to questions@thenotsoseriouslife.com, and we will catch you tomorrow with episode 3. See you later.